this is what gets me excited, because once I figured this out, for me, it ended up like life got so much more clear for me, because I'm like, okay, now I understand when people say you need to work on your life, right? So there's 7 areas. One area is the mental, right? Mental area basically is, your education, your knowledge, how you think, right? Anything to do with mental, okay? Anything to do with your mind. Emotional is your next level. Anything to do with your feelings, right? So if you're like, for example, some of the things I had to work on was my anger, my temper, right? How do you get better at that? It's not just like waking up one morning and saying, I'm not angry. That's stupid. Like, I have anger. It's okay to have anger. I actually went through an anger management course in 2019 because I needed to work on that, right? So I ended up realizing that anger is not a bad thing. It's actually a good thing if you learn how to use it properly and channel it the right way and understand that that feeling is okay. It's okay to be angry. It's just what you do with that anger and how you respond with anger, right? Versus reacting. So emotional could be something you're working on with your emotional stuff, right, in your life. It could be love, right? It doesn't have to be with a person, but it could be love towards something, love towards yourself, whatever it is, right? Then you have your physical, which is basically anything to do with your health, your body. Some of you guys eat garbage, and then you wonder why you feel like crap, or you don't have enough energy, right? It's all with physical, right? Going to the gym, working out, right? Doing yoga, all that stuff is anything to do with physical, right? Then you have, obviously, financial, which I don't have to explain, but that's your work life, your money, right? Stuff like that. Then you have your spiritual life, right? Spiritual area of your life. Pretty much anything to do with your faith, God, right? Or whatever you believe in, okay? Spirituality. Next is your recreational, right? Which is anything to do with fun. For example, I love shooting guns. I love going boating. I love fishing. I love traveling. Those are things that I love playing video games. My brother just got me a PS5, so I'm excited about that, right? This is what excites me, right? PS5, anybody? Ooh, Xbox? Xbox? War, baby. Now Xbox side, now the PS. Oh, PC. Who's PC here? PC? PC guys. Okay, you guys are smarter than me. All right, awesome. But like, you gotta have some fun in your life. If life is just about making money, you'll be empty. If life is just about spirituality, like I see a lot of people that are just spiritual, they do nothing else. It's empty. You gotta have all 7 areas of your life grow, right? Nothing wrong with that. That's what you want. God bless your soul. But like, I believe that you need to have all 7 areas of your life working in unison, right? And then you have relational, which is your relationship with your family, relationship with your friends, relationship with your spouse, right? Anything to do with relationships, right? Many people have 3 areas of their life peaking, and then the other areas are dying and decaying, right? But you have to have your life work in a balanced way. I don't want to say the word balance because that's not the right word, but like in unison, right? You have your heart, you have your lungs, you have your kidney, you have this, you have that, all working together to make your human body, right? Just imagine one day your heart's like, you know what? I'm not working today, right? It's not going to happen, right? It doesn't work like that. It works together. Your mind, your brain, right? Your nervous system, your lymphatic system, right? Your kidneys, your digestive system, they all work together as a team, right? So this has to be what? In sync. Great word, right? It has to be in sync because all these areas can affect other areas. Mental, emotional, physical, financial, right? Spiritual, recreational, and then relational, right? If you think of anything in the world, they all boil down to one of these areas. Okay? And if you want me to go into deeper, like into depth, I have on Spitting Fire podcast that's online on Spotify. I went through all of these like specific in detail, right? So you can learn more about it. 7 areas of your life. That's pretty much what I built out. Recreational. Relational. Right? Anything to do with relationships. Your spouse, your mom, your dad, your brother, your cousin, your coworkers, right? So it's your team environment. And a lot of times they can kind of mix and match, right? So like, what are you doing in your life right now? If you look at all the problems you have right now, they're in one of these 7 areas. True or not true?
True.
Okay. Are we done with filling in 10 challenges we're overcoming?
Yeah.
Cool.
You said that was recreation.
Recreational and then relational. Sorry for my handwriting, guys. I'm supposed to be a doctor. So I'll have you guys fill that out. Sabir, you're working him? Cool. Who's doing, just curious, who's doing day 1 training? Shaquem? You finished your paperwork already? You're just learning this while you... Okay, cool. Get this! I'm just kidding. Danny, we can make sure that he has day one training? Yeah, thank you, bro. Appreciate it. Danny, you can help out? Or just have someone run it? Cool. Thank you. All right, cool. Who has 5 written down so far? 6? 7? 10? Who got 10 already? Good. You can't think of 10. What number do you stop at? 6. Okay. What I would recommend you to do is have more problems.
That shit.
No, we talked about the other day, right?
Yeah.
Some of you guys are having a hard time with finding out what problems you have. Find more problems. These are good problems, right? I'm talking about like, oh my God, I don't feel good. Like, that's not a problem. That's just you making up bullshit in your head, right? Now, if you don't feel good body-wise, I understand that. Then there's a solution to that. You need to figure it out, right? If you don't have enough energy to walk and you're breathing like, that's a problem. So you need to fix it. That's a good problem to fix, right? When your body goes through something, like when your body has a fever, you don't feel right, it's a sign that your body is telling you something is not right. Fix it, right? Having a fever is not a problem. Having a fever is your body saying, hey, something's not right. We got to beat this thing. Let's go. Raise the temperature. Does that make sense? I'm not a doctor, but that's what it is. Am I right or am I wrong?
Right. Correct.
So remember, we've been programmed to think that this is a problem. These are not problems, right? These are challenges. These are things that we need to overcome. Like as an example for you, right? I'll give you one of my challenges, one of my problems right now that I'm working on, right? Which is an opportunity for me. I'm looking for someone to run our online division, right? I actually found one person. We're in talks, figuring out the details, but that was a problem that I had for quite some time, right? It sounds easy to solve, but you have to really have it planned out because it's like building a brand new company, right? Within a company, right? So like we have door-to-door working very well, but right now we're working on the online virtual sales team, right? So like that's a good problem. It's keeping me up. It's keeping me excited. It keeps things interesting. Otherwise, I'd be sitting there doing nothing all day, right? But it's a good problem because it's an opportunity. Once I solve that problem, guess what happens? It's a brand new channel for us, a new business, a new channel of revenue, right? I'm going to solve that problem a couple of months from now. It'll be working like a well-oiled machine, just like door-to-door is, right, as an example. What then? I'm going to sit there and do nothing? No, I'm going to find another problem, right? You want problems. So some of you guys have 2, 3 problems. Find more problems. You need problems. Problems keeps your day excited. How many of you guys have like 0 problems? No problems? It's okay, be honest. If you have if you don't really see yourself having any problems, maybe that's why you don't have the fire you need, the pressure that you need. Because problems give you a fire under your butt, right? Problems give you excitement in your life. If you don't have any problems, maybe you need to maybe that's the problem. The problem is you don't have any problems, right? If being honest, like figure out what those problems are. If you don't have a problem, you will not create fire in your life. Which leads me to the next thing, right? We talked about it a little bit yesterday. How many of you guys have enemies? Okay?
I mean, what do you mean by it?
When I mean by enemy, so for example, there's different types of enemies. Number one enemy, and we'll go back to the problem stuff in a second, but I really wanted to touch on this because I think some of you guys that don't have problems, you need to create problems. And sometimes, like, who's ever been told you have a chip on your shoulder? Who's ever been told that? Oh, you have a chip on your shoulder. Who thinks it's a bad thing? Okay, it's a good thing, in my opinion. Like, when somebody says you have a chip on your shoulder, I'm like, perfect. Because when you feel like the world is against you, it may be, psychologically it may not be healthy, but it actually may be a little bit more powerful for you. So when you feel like someone is against you, you have an enemy, for example, your mom. 13 years old, your mom said, you are never going to be nothing, right? Your father said, you will never be like me, right? Your brother is successful and you're not, as an example. He has a degree, he's making 200 grand a year as an example, and you just got started in sales, you just start figuring out your life. And he said something to you when you were like 14 years old that you'll never be like me, as an example. That could be an enemy, right? Your old high school teacher, right? Your guidance counselor, your psychologist, your psychiatrist. They said something about you, right? Like I was told that I have all these things from A to Z, right? Like, I got, I'm manic, I'm narcissistic. I've had a list of shit. Everything from fucking A to Z, I've been listed it, right? So to me, I took that as a chip on the shoulder. So I'm going to prove you what? With all these things that you tell me that are fucked up about me, I'm going to use that as what? As fuel.
And they told you that so you can improve yourself or put you down. But
I don't know. They told me, they labeled me. So a lot of times we're labeled a lot of things, right? Your mom or your dad or your psychologist, psychiatrist. I took it as, I'm going to prove you wrong. I don't know what they were thinking, right? But a lot of times they just want to label you and say, oh, he's narcissistic as an example. Or, oh, he's bipolar. Or, oh, he's depressed. Or, oh, he's manic. Or, oh, whatever somebody has told you guys. Oh, he has how many of you guys have been told you have ADHD? That's a label. They even give you fucking pills for that shit, right? So ADHD is attention deficit disorder or some bullshit, right? It's some fucking made up disease in my opinion because like every successful person has something wrong with them technically, right? How many of you guys have been told you're obsessed? Okay? It's a good thing. It's not a bad thing. It's actually a healthy thing to be obsessed about something. That's how you, look at all the most successful people on the planet, like Steve Jobs. He was obsessed, right? Look at Disney. He was obsessed. They told him that he was building the Mickey Mouse. It was never going to become, like, it was the most, they laughed at his ass.
In Spanish, they say terco. They used to tell me, you're so terco. Because that means that you decide something and you go.
Yeah. That's actually a good thing because now.
You're like how you say this, not the horse, but the other one, the donkey. You know,
Yeah, stubborn. Yeah, but that's good.
Stubborn.
That's a good thing, right? Because you cannot create success in anything if you're going to be jumping around from thing to thing. You need to have what? You need to have what? Persistence. You need to be focused. You need to be all in whatever you're doing.
And they tell you that when you were a kid, like it's a bad thing. We're like, oh fuck, like
Yeah.
I moved too much.
So if you look at labels, like some of you guys are labeling yourself. I'm a father. I'm a mother. I'm a brother. That's a label, right? You believe some of these labels. Some of them are bad. Some of them are good. But like, I don't believe in these labels. Like, oh, he's this. Great. Make a list. And I use that as fuel. Some of you guys use it as a problem to affect your emotional state. I use that as fuel. You need to use that as fuel, right? Some of you guys need some enemies in your life, which is what I was talking about yesterday. You need some, like, how many of you guys are doing this because you are doing something like this to prove someone wrong about something?
To me,
Huh? Maybe out of spite, right? It's a fuel that will last longer. When you make your goal to make 100 grand a year, 200 grand, 500 grand, a million, whatever the fuck your goal is, once you hit that goal, it's not gonna, where's that fuel gonna come from? You need that fuel. It's the most powerful fuel. It's nuclear fuel like I talked about yesterday, right? That fuel will last for a very, 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 very long time. Long after you get tired. Long after you get a rejection. I used to use the rejection customers gave me as fuel. Like I used it as fuel. There was some customers that made me feel like, there were some customers, I had, I'm just going to share you, not to like brag or anything, but I had like almost $1 million in my pocket at one point, right? At that time. And it was interesting because I had $1 million something at that time and I was knocking on doors and the guy was like laughing at me saying, oh, what are you doing this for? How much money do you make doing this shit? And I didn't say anything, but in my mind, I already knew. Like what? I'm fucking richer than this fucking fool right here. He has no idea. And I was with one of my guys and we're both thinking to myself, like, this guy has no fucking idea. I used that as fuel. Because I remember when I was laughed at and I only had $50 in my pocket.